Hey, my name is Brett, and I have been passing out at the sight of blood and needles since I was just over a year old. And the reason that I share that with you is because I want you to know that anything that I say after this, anything that comes later, comes from somebody that knows what it's like to pass out. So I know what the triggers are. I know what the things are that are going to make you feel really uncomfortable. And I want you to know right now that we're going to be avoiding all of those. The first time I passed out, I told I was pretty young. I had gotten a hold of a TV remote and I found myself on PBS back when they used to show surgeries and things on there. And I didn't even know what I was looking at, but it still impacted me and they found me on the floor. Shortly after that, it was the booster shots. It was basically anytime I had to go to a doctor, there was a 90% chance that I was going to be unconscious at some point during that experience. There was one point that I remember I passed out in kindergarten class because they were talking about mosquitoes, and I did not like that. Since then and throughout my life, I've passed out in places such as college assemblies, biology class, bathrooms, basically anytime I ever needed to go see a doctor. If there was anything involving blood or those little pointy things, it was a pretty good chance that I was going to pass out. Everything changed for me just a little after we had our daughter, our very first child. She had had some health problems. She needed to be admitted to the hospital, and as part of that, the IV gets involved. And I won't go into any details here, but I will say that I knew that if I was in the room while that was being done, that I would make things worse. And I had to sit in the hall outside, my head in my hands, back against the wall in the cold hospital hallway, listening to the cries inside the room, and knowing that I couldn't be in there to help comfort her in one of the scariest times of her life. And that had a pretty profound impact on me. I decided from that day that I did not want to let this phobia guide my life. I wanted to make sure that the next time that something came up like that, I was able to be in the room. I was able to be the dad that she needed me to be. Fortunately, I stumbled across a program that helped me get over my fear of blood and needles. And I'm not saying I'm 100% cured, but life is so much better. And I wanted to be able to share that with you. So throughout these videos, I'm going to be sharing how I got to a point where I could walk into a doctor's office, where I could go through a checkup, where I could go through the part of the checkup that usually sends us running. And I'm going to share how I did that, the thought process behind it, the science behind it, and how it may work for you. And I want you to know off the top here that I do understand the triggers. I understand them very well. I grew up with them. I was taunted by them. It was crazy how many kids try to make me faint throughout my life by throwing these triggers out at me or saying things that they knew would just set me off. So I'm not going to do any of that to you. We're going to address this from a place of safety. We're going to address this from a place where you can sit here and listen to everything I say without me trying to send you off on an episode. So stick with me and I will explain how I was able to beat my fear. And this is very important. Our phobia, the one that we share, this phobia of needles and blood, is the most common phobia in the entire world. It's also considered the most dangerous phobia in the world because it keeps people like you and I from seeking medical attention when we need it the most. So if we can get past that initial fear and be able to seek that attention, no matter what we do after that, no matter what happens in that room, if we just get across that threshold, we've won. And I'm going to share with you how I did it.